Good morning, everybody. It is about 9 o'clock. We've been up for a while. In fact, I can probably honestly say I didn't really go to sleep. Well, maybe.
You went to sleep. You were snoring in my ear.
Oh, but after only about 4 or 5 hours, maybe. The wind was just crazy, but we'll get into that after action report later. Right now, I want to talk to you about going to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom in the forest. It's more like tundra with bushes here. We're in the Grassy Ridge, north of Grayson Highlands. And it amazes me how much cleanup work is involved when I pooped. But from a squatting position all the way down to my ankles, I mean the low squat, and still there was so much cleanup work. I'm like, I'm as low and as wide as I go, and how come there's so much cleanup work? Anyways, Bill's like, if you can hold it, we can get to the bathroom. I don't know, how far is the scales? About a mile? And I'm like, yeah, there's no holding it. Nature calls. Oh, good morning again. So we just took off from camp and climbed up the little ridge that we camped below. It's behind me. You see some snow back there. And it's really beautiful out here. Now that the wind has died down to a gentle breeze. Here we go. Oh, geez, my hair looks terrific. We're at the scales. There's a bathroom. Yay! And behind me, oh, there it is, the trash. So it's a gorgeous day in the neighborhood. Okay. Breathing. Okay, we're on Pine, the summit of Pine. Well, not quite. It's behind me. Pine Mountain. And it's almost 5,000 feet, right? Yeah. Let me turn it around. So Bill says it's 49:54. He's our navigator today. That's the view. And there's Bill. Now through the gate, downhill, to a rest, water, and a pee place. How far?
I don't remember what I said.
I think it's a
1.5, 1.7?
yeah, a mile and a half. To Old Orchard Shelter.
Yes.
Here we go. Over and take pictures off the ground. I got pictures of the ice stuff had pushed up. And this is the trail. What were you pointing at?
I was pointing at
Oh,
that. Perhaps a sapsicle.
I thought it was honey at first. Can I get close? Oh, there I am. A sapsicle.
Perhaps.
Cool. The water is underneath me. The sun feels so good. So, today was a long, hard day, but it turned out to be a gorgeous afternoon. We're at Old Orchard Shelter. That's where this is. That's the shelter. But we are not staying in the shelter. We are staying at the camping tenting area down here. There's a beer box and it's very nice. Bill is setting up the tent and I am resting my back and having some hot chocolate. Actually, it's Carnation Instant Breakfast, but it's hot. Sitting in the sun. Oh my gosh. Feels so good. So later on, Bill and I will give you a rundown of yesterday, last night, and today. Yeah, it should be fun. Here's a better video of the shelter. So the shelter's here, and the privy is back. Oops, there. And there's our tent, and the beer box is over there. What are you having for dinner?
Pad Thai.
Backpackers pantry?
Doctored.
Doctored? What do you doctor it with?
A little chicken.
Oh, you don't add more sauce or anything?
No, it's fine for sauce and stuff. I'll probably add a little extra water because it kind of tends to be on the dry side. Mostly
Yeah.
because it doesn't have as much oil as Pad Thai.
Yeah. It's just a little breezy, isn't it?
Barely, yes.
But enough that you notice it. Well, our tent's up. Fire ring's clear. Firewood has been accumulated thanks to this man. Whoop, whoop, Bill. Yay. He has a headache. So.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Good. My headache's gone.
Oh, see, it's caffeine. So, we left about 12:30 from the backpacker parking lot, right? No, Massey Gap parking lot. At Grayson
yesterday?
Highlands. Yeah, 12:30 yesterday.
Yeah.
And it was blowing and raining. About, what, 35?
Yeah. 35-ish.
And
Higher gusts.
I mean, 35 degrees.
Oh,
And windy.
blowing 35.
Yeah, super windy. And then when we got to the edge of the highlands, the sun started coming out, trying to come out. And the trail was flooded. Really almost for the past 2 days from here, and we're at Old Orchard. For the past 8+ miles, the trail has been flooded. It's creek rather than trail.
By flooded, it's maybe a lot of it is an inch
Yeah, inch or 2 inches,
at most.
muddy. In the places, except in the places where it was frozen.
And there's some dry spots.
Yeah. So when we got to Grassy Ridge and started crossing the ridge, the wind was blowing so hard that it was like trying to knock us down. I lost my footing a couple times. I didn't go down, but it was like having a big sail on our backs with the backpack. And it was getting late, and we still had more bald. It was up at elevation. And just as we were about to climb up kind of on the ridge, there was a little knoll, what do you call it, there in the trees?
I noticed that there were big trees there, that there were robins playing, and that there was a lot of reasonably fresh horse pooey.
Yeah, there are tons of horse poop.
So it looked like that's where animals go to hang out.
So it's like, should we stop? Yeah, we'll stop here. Until we were tucked up against the knoll. And even though it was like 40 miles an hour plus with gusts, we were pretty protected from the wind. But it was really cold last night. It got down into the teens. When we settled in last night, it was like 26. I think that's how much it was this morning. Inside the tent, though. 26 outside, 26 inside the tent. There's probably a
5 degree, 6 degree,
maybe
10 degree.
difference.
Yeah.
So everything was frozen. The water I left in my water pot, frozen, nearly solid. So this morning, well, I don't think either of us slept very well. It was really bright, the moon. Actually, the clouds cleared up. The wind was supposed to stop, but it didn't stop until the sun came up, and then the winds calmed down. But it was clear, and the moon was really bright. And Bill was warm. It took me a couple hours to get warm, but once I was warm, I was good. Then I had to get up to pee, and then I was freezing again, but I warmed up pretty good. But I think I slept the best this morning after the wind. I think we really slept the best probably from about 4:30 on. And I think, when did we add up?
9?
Yeah, 39.
Mm-hmm.
And by that time, the condensation that was frozen on the inside of the tent had pretty much evaporated and dried, so we were pretty dry. I was surprised. I thought we were going to be damp. And then we got on the trail. Took me a long time to get it together. About 11.
About noon.
Really?
Yeah. It was between 11:30 and noon.
So we crossed the Grassy Ridge down to the scales. There's a bathroom there and trash and bear boxes. And that's where we were headed, but it would have been really windy there, I think. And then we came here. And it was quite a climb up Pine Mountain. And then down Pine Mountain. It was wet, frozen, then running water on the trail, and then rocks and running water, and then leaves and rocks and running water, and then roots and leaves and rocks and running water. So that was a mile and a half of going slow. What else can you say about the day?
It's going well. We're here.
Yeah, we were gonna go to the brook, which is about a mile and a half from here. And after going through the rocks and the roots and the mud and leaves and the running water, my knee was done. I was done. I was tired. And I was shaking, but I was so tired. And I sat down and had a Snickers bar when you took off.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't make me, well, it made me feel a little bit better, but not much. And I knew I was done. I was tired, but we didn't sleep well last night.
Didn't sleep well. This was 6 miles. Not bad for 5 hours.
It was longer than that. I go about a mile an hour.
Roughly. A little bit faster than that.
Then when we got here, we met some really cool guys. Tom was a through hiker. He hiked the Appalachian Trail
2001.
in 2001, yeah. And I think that kid was his kid.
Yep.
So, let's talk about gear. What gear are you happy with?
All of my gear.
What gear are you especially happy with?
The Be Free filter is pretty cool.
Oh, Catadine Be
Yeah.
Free filter? Yeah, it works fast. We
Yeah.
have the 3-liter.
It works really well.
Yeah.
Your tent is small, but works really well. It's easy to set up.
Well, it's really if it's a 2-person tent, it's really a
It's a
one-person.
one-person tent. Yeah.
I'm really happy with my Ultra Mids rain, snow, mud, because my feet have been dry through all of the river crossings and mud and ice and flooded trail.